Okay, this is the science practice test for chemistry. The names of the particles in the nucleus are protons and neutrons, but it's not electrons. They sit on the outside of the nucleus in shells. What is the name of the particles that have a positive charge? They are the protons. The negative charge are electrons. If an atom loses electrons, it becomes a positive ion. It's a bit like if you've got plus, 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 minus, 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 that's neutral. If you lose one electron, then it'll be overall plus 1. If you lose 2 electrons, you'll be plus 2, because the plus and the minus counteract each other, and so you have an overall 2 positives if you lose 2 negatives. Question 4, an atom gains electrons, will become a negative charge, negative ion. An atom of calcium has 20 electrons. If you look up calcium, it's 20 number of protons, so it has 20 electrons because it's neutral. But that's the atom. The ion is charged. If you look up the table, page 11, you'll see calcium is double plus. To get double plus, it had to have lost 2 electrons. So if it lost 2 electrons, the 20 is now down to 18. Draw the electronic configuration. So Ca20, you need to have 20 protons in the middle, and around the outside you need to have 2, 8, 8, 2, because the structure goes 2, 8, 8, 18. So there are 2 in the first shell, there are 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the next shell, another 8 in the next shell, and then there's 2 in the outside one, another critical ones, the 2 in the outermost shell, these 2 here, and that's why calcium is double plus, because these 2 outer electrons are easily lost in chemical reactions. Whereas group 8 on the periodic table, they don't bond with each other because they have complete shells. This one is in group 2, and when I say group 2, that is on the periodic table. I'll bring that up. Okay, on the periodic table, this is how you read the groups. We've got, this is group 1, this is group 2. You skip all those in the middle, and then you go to group 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is 8 here, this last one here. Depending on the number of the group, if you're in group 2, then you have 2 electrons in the outer shell. That's why calcium had 2 electrons on the outer shell, because they're in group 2. Group 8, you have 8 electrons in the outer shell. Right. Now if you've got 8 in the outer shell, that's complete. They don't want to lose or gain electrons, and that's why they don't react with anything. They're quite happy having 8 in the outside shell. That's what's your answer there to that question. Why don't they bond with other atoms? Okay, completing the table, you can get all this from the periodic table I just explained. Sodium, you'll find is in group 1, and it is in row 3. So if you look down here, sodium is sitting in this spot here, which is group 1, and it is in row 3. The type of element, you have to get that from the periodic table. You've got a dividing line for the metals and non-metals. It's that black zigzag line. On the right hand side you've got non-metals, and on the left hand side you have metals. So sodium is on the left hand side, that's a metal. Carbon is a non-metal, and you look for the group number for carbon, which is sitting in group 4. If you look at 7.3, you find it's chlorine, and that's a non-metal. What's the difference between element and compound? You'll find that in your booklet too. Element is made up of all the same type of atoms, whereas a compound is made up of different atoms or elements. For example, this one here could be copper. Copper is just made up of copper atoms, whereas a compound would be copper chloride. It's made up of copper and chlorine atoms. Covalent and ionic bond, that's in your booklet as well. Covalent is between two nonmetals, or multiple nonmetals. Ionic bonds are always between metals and nonmetals. These ones also transfer their electrons across. These ones share their electrons. So these ones are like a positive and negative ions, whereas these ones are not ions. Metal and non-metal, we did a prac on that, that's in your booklet. Metals are shiny, they can be bent easily, and they conduct electricity, whereas non-metals are the opposite. Write the chemical formulas. Sodium hydroxide, you have to look up the table and find Na plus, OH minus. Ferric is Fe triple plus, chloride is Cl minus. To balance it, you need 3 of them. Calcium nitrate, calcium's double plus, nitrate single minus. You need 2 of them to balance the 2 plus. Sodium carbonate, carbonate is double minus, sodium is plus 1. You need 2 of them to balance it. Write the names of these. That's calcium oxide, lithium bromide, silver iodide, sodium chloride, potassium nitrate, zinc sulfate. Draw the following. 3O2, well there is O2, just an oxygen and an oxygen. Now we need 3 of them. That is 3O2. HNO3, there's H, there's N, there's an O, an O and an O, and we needed 2 of them, so nitrogen OOO. That is hydrogen nitrate, that's that bit there done. But we need to have 2 of them, so we've got to do that all again. So we've got NOOO and NOOO. How many oxygen atoms are there in 3O2? We can count them there. There are 6, so that could be the answer to that one there. Quicker way is just do 3 times 2. This one here, we've just done up here. Count all the O's, there's 3, 3, 3, 3, so 12 total. Put 12 there. Quicker way would be 3 2s are 6, and 2 times 6 is 12. So using that quick method, you have to draw this. You could just do 2 times O, one of them is 2, times by 4 and you get 8. The worded equation, that will give silver chloride. They swap around, that goes with that one and that goes with that one. Always write the metal first. Copper nitrate. If you can work out which gives the precipitates, you've got to look up your solubility rules in our booklet and you'll find that silver chloride is the insoluble one. And the same with this. So this will go potassium sulfate, sodium hydroxide, magnesium oxide and barium iodide. The challenge questions, you have to write all this out in formula. So silver nitrate is AgNO3, copper chloride is CuCl2, because that's a double plus and that's a minus, so we need 2 of them to balance. Now swap them around. The silver goes with the chloride, plus and minus. Copper goes with the nitrate, but that has to be 2 because that's a single minus, that's a double plus. Okay, to balance this, on the left you've got 2 Cl's and we've only got 1, so we need to put a 2 there, but that doubles the silver as well, so we have to come back and double the silver. That doubles the nitrate, but that's okay, the nitrate's already doubled, so that's totally balanced. and you do similar things for the remaining ones. So I'll just do this quickly. Potassium hydroxide, sodium sulfate, and that gives potassium sulfate plus sodium hydroxide, because that's plus double minus, plus minus, plus double minus, plus minus. To balance it we need 2 Ks, and we need 2 there, and that's all good. And the last one is magnesium iodide and barium oxide, and that will give magnesium oxide and barium iodide. Now this is double plus single minus, that's 2, double plus double minus, double plus double minus, double plus single minus, so that's a 2. And everything else balances. This one here, just choose one element and write as much detail as you can about these things here. Okay, good luck.